Hello, I'm Steve Hammond, your Director of Animal Services for Cobb County, and we're here today to answer some of your most frequently asked questions. And the first one is, does the Director hate cats? No. This was started by an individual connected to a rescue organization who misconstrued what was said in a conversation when she extrapolated that nuisance equals hate. This conversation was regarding community cats. For the record, I don't hate any animals, and this person is well aware of this. The context of this conversation was regarding the failure of caretakers to respect the property rights of others and failing to control the community cats under their care. You know, any animal can be a nuisance. Our Cobb County ordinance defines a nuisance animal as any animal that damages, soils, defiles, eliminates, or defecates on private property other than its owner's property or on public property, or it causes unsanitary or offensive conditions or otherwise endangers public health, welfare, or safety, or causes a disturbance by barking, howling, or other noise making for a period of more than 15 minutes, or chases vehicles, bicycles, or people, or is in heat and not confined in a manner which can keep it away from intact males of the same species, or causes serious annoyance to a neighboring residence and interferes with the reasonable use and enjoyment of that property. This leads us right into the next question. What is the county's stance on community and feral cats? Cobb County has not adopted an ordinance condoning community and feral cats. I've challenged one of the rescues involved to help develop a solution which serves everyone and the cats involved. Community cats and TNR tread a very thin line when it comes to abandonment issues. And the cats are still subject to the control ordinance or the leash law. Okay, how are euthanasia decisions made? You know, euthanasia is a difficult decision and not one we take lightly. Our process involves 5 to 6 levels, with me being the final approval. Issues with the animal are identified at the lowest level and then reviewed by a supervisor, a member of our vet team, a manager, and finally me. We identify aggressive animals first, as we have an obligation to protect the community and other animals from aggressive animals. Next, we look at animals that are sick and may be beyond our capacity for care. These animals are submitted to rescues whenever possible. However, there are times we must consider the health of more than just the affected animal and must decide for the safety of all animals in the shelter. We don't always have the luxury of waiting on a rescue to take these animals and must make an immediate decision. We still use our 5 to 6 step process, but at an accelerated pace. We must make decisions based on the greatest good for the greatest number of animals in the shelter. This isn't always a popular decision, but is one of those judgment calls we must make. Next up, why don't you have an urgent list or a kill list? Every animal in the shelter is urgent every day, and we shouldn't need a list to tell anyone that. I don't like the idea of selecting animals to die a week or more in advance. I'd rather spend our efforts trying to get them adopted or rescued. Placing an expiration date on them just seems wrong to me. I also feel kill lists are overused and people start to become numb to them. We do send urgent requests to our rescue partners when time permits, but they're not always able to respond within the time constraints we are under. Next up, what are you doing to mitigate and slow the spread of disease in the shelter? Great question. Disease control is one of our major focuses. We've seen an uptick in cases of panleukemia in cats this year. We're also seeing an increase in cases of calicivirus, which is one of the causes of upper respiratory infections, and oral disease in cats. The mortality rate runs between 22 and 86%. Most survivors see resolution in 7 to 10 days. Some can show signs for up to 40 days. With the large number of intakes we're experiencing, we have closed the portals in our cat cages to double our capacity. This decreases the room available for the cat, requires placing the litter box in the living area of the cat, and certainly increases the amount of stress the cat is under. As an example of the overcrowding, as of this moment, we have 167 cats and kittens in the shelter and 170 dogs and puppies. Not including our isolation areas, we have safe capacity for 49 cats and kittens and 154 dogs and puppies. You can see the problem. Anytime we close the dividers, we increase the density of animals in smaller spaces and increase the disease risk. We're utilizing disposable litter pans. We're only using a scoop once before we run it through the wash. Full protective equipment in quarantine areas, and all staff and volunteers are wearing gloves and changing after contact with each animal. All of this in addition to our daily cleaning, where cage spaces are scrubbed top to bottom. Our team does a great job of cleaning every day, but with a large number of intakes, disease control is difficult to maintain. All right, next up, what about a new shelter? Man, we need that. Today we're in a 30-year-old building. 30 years ago, you didn't have animal services, you had a dog pound. Getting animals out alive was not a priority. Shelters were not designed with the standards they are today. This design contributes greatly to some of the issues we see today. Yes, we're in the running for a new shelter with construction likely to start in 2026. We're looking at a 50,000 square foot facility with modern sanitation, HVAC, and plumbing. As well, we'll have an enhanced surgery suite and clinic area for the animals in our care. We won't be adding a large number of cages, but they will be in more rooms so we can control the spread of disease more easily. For instance, if we have a room with a communicable disease, we can isolate that room while the animals heal and are treated. Each room will have non-shared HVAC input, which will cut down on the sharing of dirty air through the facility. Enhanced plumbing and drainage systems are a part of that too. We will have more bonding rooms to facilitate potential adopters meeting their new pets. Okay, do you play favorites with the rescues? No, I don't. Our staff know which rescues are going to be able to provide assistance in which situations, and often we'll contact them first, the easy way out. Take a group of cats with panleukemia. It's not within the capability of all rescues to manage that. And then how do I answer the question, why don't you or why can't you? I call it the M&Ms, manpower, money, and space. All three of those go together. I could add 1,000 cages, but without the people and the money to manage them, we wouldn't be able to utilize them. Currently, we have the capacity to clean and feed the animals in our care, with some time to assist with adoptions. We run a lean organization and do the best we can with the resources we've been entrusted with. What about transparency? When I became the Director of Animal Services, I saw we did a terrible job in communicating and being transparent. There's still room for improvement, but we have made great strides. One of the first things I did was open myself up on social media. The department had social media pages, but I made myself available in this medium. We have also added our real-time shelter statistics webpage. This gives everyone insight into the current capacity of the shelter and where we are statistically speaking, to include euthanasia. I'm adding to this as time permits, and some information still requires an open records request to obtain, and those are legal requirements. I know for some this still isn't enough, but we're moving more in that direction. How does your spay-neuter voucher program work? This is a great program. Through contributions from Commissioner Gambrill and Commissioner Allen, we've created a voucher program for residents of Cobb County. Each resident is eligible for 2 vouchers each year. The vouchers are available from the shelter at 1060 Al Bishop Drive between the hours of 10:30 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, Tuesday through Sunday. Of course, vouchers are only available as we have funds. We recently received an additional $25,000 from Commissioners Gambrill and Allen, and to date we've received $135,000 to fund the program. We always appreciate constructive input from the public. Our goal is to do the greatest good for the greatest number of animals in our care. Our staff and volunteers dedicate themselves to the animals in our care. Staff members work here because they want to. Nobody's getting rich as an employee at Animal Services, and most give up more money and opportunities to stay. They're a special group of people that are second to none. We work within the United States Constitution, state law, and our county ordinances. I follow the law and have taken an oath to uphold those laws and ordinances, popular or not. Our team will follow the law as well, sworn or not. We have a very robust volunteer program, and our volunteers give over 1,000 hours every month. They're dedicated to the animals of Cobb County, and we appreciate the work they do. In closing, I know we'll never meet everyone's expectation, and there's always room for improvement. Our team has made great strides over the years and has done an extraordinary job balancing the care of the animals with the resources we have. Our team works hard every day, even though sometimes it feels like we're running with scissors and we fall down and hurt ourselves from time to time. If you're not a volunteer, then I would encourage you to check out our volunteer program. Our website is cobbcounty.gov/animal services. You can also find us on all the popular social media outlets. Again, I'm Steve Hammond. I'm your Director of Animal Services, and I appreciate your time watching.